The views, opinions, and statements expressed in this program are those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Anything Entertainment Network.
You know already what the hottest podcast is in the world, the Brik Talks podcast. And so we're on Anything Entertainment Network. Make sure you download that and share it with all your friends. And come out and check out some of the conversations that we're having. We got some really riveting conversations. We're talking about community. We're talking about culture. We're talking about loving and helping one another to just build a great community and to build great surroundings in our community. Make sure you look for us on YouTube. We're on social media. Keep building, y'all. Keep it Brik.
So your comedy tackles some serious topics like politics, racism, probably social issues, you know, to name a few. But people describe your style as feeling like a big hug. How do you balance truth, humor, and love in your storytelling?
Man, you know, it probably helps me being the oldest of four.
Okay.
You know, because you have to speak direct. You know, when your mom juggling stuff and you're home by yourself with the kids, you know, with
and you
my
become
brother and sister. Yeah, so it's like you learn how to speak directly.
Okay.
You know, because you don't really have the skill set to really handle the situation. So it's like I learn how to speak very directly to people. I've lost friends over speaking directly.
Me too.
You know, but that's, to me, that's the best way to do it. You know, because when you sugarcoat stuff, you know, people sometimes they play with you. You know, and you giving them room. It's really your fault because you didn't say it.
Because you should have nipped it in the bud, like my mother would say.
You should have said it the first way, right?
Yeah,
Should have said it the first way. And I always believe my first mind is the mind that I want people to know. I don't want to have to be second guessing myself. Oh, I should have said it this way. I should have said it that way. So I say what's literally, so my heart, it hit my mind, it's coming out my mouth. And that's pretty much how I roll. Professionally, I try to, you know, I turn that valve off. But in comedy, that's the best thing about it. Is like I can open that valve wide open all the way, all the way. And I love that.
Yeah. I think I appreciate that more in people too. I don't like people faking and pretending and stuff like that. Although I understand there's a place and a time for everything, I just do feel like I would rather for you to be honest with me about whatever we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I can accept that more than I could accept you trying to lie because you think I can't handle the truth or something like that. Right. Yeah. So I've just learned how to over time just kind of make sure that I put a little spin on it. You know, I'm gonna say what it is that I need to say, but even especially coming into this arena, you know, my mother used to always say it's not about what you say to people, it's how you say it to people. You can tell somebody to, you know, kiss your, you know what, without saying kiss my, you know what I'm saying? So, but they get the full message. Oh, yeah. So, you know, I think that I can see that with you.
Yeah, I've always been like that. I've always been this pretty much straightforward type of person, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like to play games, too many games.
No, it's too many. And in the world that we live in today, Lord have mercy. I mean, is it just me?
After COVID, I don't play no more games.
You don't play no more games?
Before COVID, I played a lot of games.
You did?
And I apologize to all the people I played games with.
You talking about the ladies?
Yeah.
Zay,
I apologize.
what you was out here doing, Zay? Let me find out.
You know, well, you know what? I just got the kind of love that I used to like to spread around.
Oh, really? You was like a community activist?
Yeah, you know, community is a good word. Community
is not a good word.
I was doing a service for the community back then, but now I'm a non-for-profit where I just keep it to myself. How about that? I'll just share it with one person.
Y'all hear this?
Just say that.
You know, my mother used to always say, I always say what my mother used to say since she passed, it's like it's been in my mind. But she was like, you know, I used to always say, I can't wait till I'm grown. She said, when you get grown, you're going to wish you was a baby again. And a baby boy at that. I'd be like, I don't want to be no boy. I'm too cute to be a boy. But I get exactly what she meant.
I know.
Because y'all something else.
I just wish that somebody came to me in my life, and my life was a video. I wish somebody would have caught me when I was 18 and just hit the pause button and just talked to me for a minute, told me to slow down.
You might not have appreciated it as much.
That's true.
You know, because some things you just have to live through. You know what I mean? People can tell you something till you blue in the face, but and in some cases, you know, if you're wise and you take wise counsel, then you'll do wise things, right? But if not, you're going to go through it anyway.
Yeah, at this age, I more think about, you know, my kids, and I'll be trying to be a respectable person for them.
Right.
And I have to give them something to say, okay, my dad's evolving, and he's he's not doing the same thing I'm doing,
right?
And so a lot of way how I am right now is really just me saying, okay, I got to make sure they got somebody. I'm setting a good path for them to ride on. Yeah. So somebody to look up to, somebody dignified, who respectable, and still ambitious and fun.
Yeah. I just think it's just a different way you do things. You can still have fun, but and you should mature. You should grow. And the things that you was doing in your 20s, 30s, you shouldn't be doing in your 40s, 50s necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe once or twice a year.
I'm so sick of him already. Oh, Lord.
Anything more than that, what I'm saying? It's too much.
I'm going to say a little prayer for Dave, okay? And yes. Okay, next question. All right, so after your breakout at the March Laughness competition in 2015, so what is March Laughness?
It was a comedy competition, and it was really was just anybody could sign up and go, and
kind of like an open mic thing.
Yeah, but anybody can go, and I really went up there, and my first time I did it, I didn't even have no jokes. I just roasted the judges.
So you just went back to old school.
And I won, and they liked it, and I won.
Wow, that was risky.
And my head was mad big because I won, right? And then the next week, I had to come back the next week to win, and I tried the same thing, and I bombed.
It's funny that you can laugh about that.
It was like I got him the first time, and like, you ain't getting it this time. The judge was like, nah, we ain't feeling that this week.
Come with something new, my brother. Okay, all right. And so how did that, tell me how you rebounded from that.
So what I learned was, it was another lady who was there who performed, and I can't remember her name, but she actually had a set of jokes, and she went through her set, and that's when I learned something that day. I said, okay, I gotta lay this out. It's like it's not you just coming just to talk crazy.
Yeah, you gotta make jokes.
That's part of it. But people want to see you. I describe my comedy like the Harlem Globetrotters, right? You want to see them, dribble the ball. You want to see them spinning on the finger.
Right.
You want to see them do threes. You want to see them dunk. It's like so. I kind of pepper all different styles of comedy and put it together. With me, it's okay. So that's me. Talk about myself, of course. My favorite person to talk about. But then I'll talk bad about myself. I'll talk good about myself. I'll talk about society. I have some one-liner jokes that I'll tell people like this, just quick. Then I'll tell a story. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I might sing a song.
Oh, really?
I'll be all over the place.
Okay.
But I like to do that. I like that. That's the experience I like to give people.
Okay. So I know I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. I know we were talking about being truth tellers and being honest with people. And I was talking to a couple of friends the other day about how people are so sensitive these days, right? You can't say certain words. You can't, say certain things to people, or it's a problem. And how do you think that that's gonna turn out for us as a society, as a community of people, or as a culture, by not being honest with our young people about certain things in life?
Wow. See, me personally, I ain't gonna lie. I had my feelings personally had them removed about 12 years ago.
Your feelings?
My feelings.
You had a FBL?
Pretty much. I literally had my feelings removed. But I understand that people are sensitive.
Yeah.
Young people sensitive, people our age sensitive.
Yes, everybody.
It's like they're trying to hold me to the way they communicate. But I just refuse to do it. And what I do is I shut up. Okay. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, David.
The wise man knows when to close his mouth.
And sometimes I need to listen too. Because just because I feel like I'm right about everything, that's not always the case.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But I would tell people all the time, we have to learn how to, really listen to each other, to get this thing right. Because we're not listening to because there has to be a conversation.
Right.
Just like this. If I'm not listening to you, you're not listening to me, then nothing's happening.
It's just babble.
And everybody's stuck. And I believe that's where we are right now in this society. I believe we kind of stuck.
Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah. I really do.
It's really sad.
Yeah, where do you think that starts?
Man, I don't know, because we're a couple of generations in now. So I think it starts with just people like us. We just start to talk and be open about things. It's like my grandmother lived 86 years old, and I really didn't know. I knew certain things about her, but I really didn't know how she felt about a lot of stuff. Okay. And I'm talking about historical stuff, and I miss that. So my whole life right now, the reason why I be on the internet, the reason why I'm here right now is because I like documenting who I am. I want people to know who I am and how I feel about things. I think that's very important. These things will live on
Right.
They'll outlive me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and maybe it's people that might help the next generation, because what's done is done.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to change
True.
people in their ways. They set in their ways just like we was when we was their age.
Right, that's true. That's
Mhm.
true. We think we know everything.
Mhm.
Right, right. And we tired of people telling us what to do and how to do it and things like that. So I do get that. But I would pay attention too. I always kept stuff in the back of my mind, and I always knew when I came to those situations where I had to make a decision, I would hear those things, or I would remember certain things that that I spoke to my elders about, and it would help me make decisions a lot of times. Sometimes it didn't.
I say it all the time. My mother was right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to go to her too at some point in my life and say, "Ma, you know what? Everything and all I took you through, I'm sorry, because I understand now exactly what you were talking about."
No, I understand.
My eyes was open.
Mm-hmm. So now I try to just be more open-minded and again listen to other people. And I don't have an age limit on who I can get wisdom from. I can get wisdom from a 9-year-old, and I can get wisdom from a 90-year-old.
Out of the mouth of babes.
And everybody in between.
Absolutely.
So I have to, I don't want to have my mind shut up about that either. And I like to be relevant. Even my friend base is not necessarily everybody my age.
Right.
I have, like I said, I have friends and clients who are in their 90s.
Yeah.
Little kids come to my shop and they joke with me. Some of these kids I've been cutting their hair since they were babies, and now they off to college. You know what I'm saying? And we have still a very present, up-to-date relationship. I know they slang, I know the music they listen to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even though I don't like their music, but you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, they said the same thing about rap and hip hop and everything when we was coming up to what is how to turn that noise, because it was totally different than what. Well, I'm not gonna say totally different, but it was definitely a different way that it was presented in a lot of the music that we came up with. Even though it was based in like jazz roots and blues and things like that. Even though we might not have known that at the time, but we were just working with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I think it's important for us to. I think what happens is that, like, even when you came on and you said, "Hey, you know what? I really was going through a hard time. I was hurt." People don't like saying that. Like, people have this thing like you got to be tough and you can't have feelings and nothing is based around. And I'm not saying you should live with with your feelings on your chest, but you do go through things and you do hurt, and I think that's part of being human, unless you sold your soul at some point, right? Yeah. So, and I think a lot of times people don't want to admit to that, especially with this generation. It seems like everything is just like, oh, I'm just such a tough guy. Some of the things I hear them say to each other, and the way they, some things you would keep was off limits. You wouldn't talk about people's children, or or death or dying or something to that extent. You know what I'm saying? But these, like, oh my God, I've heard some really cruel stuff to come out of their mouth.
Well, these days it's easy to be cruel because we got social media.
Yeah.
It's way
be tough online.
It's way easier to be cruel.
Yeah.
And me, I'm from that era where usually if you say something off color about a person, it's very likely you're gonna have to see them in person, and it's gonna be something. Something's gonna happen. Right. So I have to even understand that, because sometimes I'll be in my comments, and I got people in my comments sometimes that know me from back in the day. Right. And they'll say something. I'll be like, what is that? Yeah. Yeah. And then sometimes I'll be wanting to fire back. Right. Or sometimes I'll be wondering, like, why would you do that on my page? I'm cultivating my community. Your brand and stuff. Like, and it's like you just take a pooping on my page. That's how I look at it, right? But I had to learn to let it go and be like, hey, that's who they are. And sometimes if I feel too much away about it, I'll hide it. And if sometimes I'll be like, hey, let people see that. I want people to see that too. That side. Everybody don't love me.
No, they don't.
You know already what the hottest podcast is in the world, the Brik Talks podcast. And so we're on Anything Entertainment Network. Make sure you download that and share it with all your friends. And come out and check out some of the conversations that we're having. We got some really riveting conversations. We're talking about community. We're talking about culture. We're talking about loving and helping one another to just build a great community and to build great surroundings in our community. Make sure you look for us on YouTube. We're on social media. Keep building, y'all. Keep it Brik.
So we figured out your biggest lesson is. Would you say your biggest lesson from what happened that day was that to be prepared and to learn the comedy, and that you can get up and come back?
Definitely, and it's a science to comedy. Yeah, it appears that everything is kind of just flying around.
Yeah.
And you're just throwing things on the wall, but
seeing what sticks.
It's a lot of right, but that a lot of that what sticks happens before you get on the stage.
Okay.
So you're trying things out. You're writing down, jokes.
Writing your jokes down.
You might try them out here and there. And that's another way I'm lucky too, because at the barbershop, it's almost like I could have amateur night
right there
5 days a week. Right?
Yeah, because I do notice how some comedians, like, they'll start, they're telling jokes, you're laughing, you're engaging, and then it's like they bring it full circle throughout the night, right? And then they'll end with something that they started with. You know what I mean? In reference to something that they started with. But it's just like and it's like, wow, that's amazing how they did that. You know what I mean?
See, that's the trick of it, right? So it's because it is entertainment, and you do want to do it at a level where people say, I can't do that. Because otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah.
So
if everybody could do it, it wouldn't be
a
skill set. I got you. So that's dope. So you've built a strong following online with millions of views.
So I recently had so one of my most recent moments was when I was in New York City last year. I went to go do comedy in New York City, and I went to the International Beauty Show with like a hair thing, barbers and hairstyles. I go every year. But anyway, the night before, I went to go participate in the comedy show, and then I literally ran into Samuel Jackson. And so we were coming out. I was in the taxi, and we were coming down the street, and then me and a friend of mine. And first I saw, anyway, I saw this lady who I see in the movies all the time, right? And I said her name. I can't say her name. I can't remember. Okay. I saw her. I was like, oh my God, that looks like who this is. Right. And then I saw Tamara Hall. And then I was like, man, she looked like Tamara Hall. And then I like turned my head this way, and literally the car stopped, we in traffic, and Samuel Jackson was standing right there. And I lost it. He's one of my favorite. I literally lost it. A group. You can Google it. It's David. David. Put in Samuel Jackson fan or rant fan, and it'll come right up. And it was written about in articles. It was all on Instagram, on Hot 97 websites, on WorldStar. That was my most viral moment. And then the other one I had was I was talking about this dude.
So wait, were you recording at the time?
So my friend was recording. So when I saw, I didn't put my phone out. It was Viola Davis. Okay. So I said, oh my God, that looks like Viola Davis. Okay. And she smiled when she heard me say it. She was that close to the window. Okay. And so I was getting my phone out, and I pulled my phone. When I looked at my phone, Samuel Jackson was standing like literally. I saw him in my phone before I actually used my eyes. Wow. And I went nuts. But the funny part about it was he's like, I don't believe that. and he said an expletive after that. I ain't gonna say it, but it was just so funny. But he cracked a little smirk before he said it, and I was like, oh, he gave me a moment.
You took it and ran with it. And you got millions of views.
Yeah, I got millions of views off of that.
Wow. That's how the spirit works.
Yeah, and I do voiceovers on videos. I did a video where a guy had his girlfriend visit him in prison, and she handed him the baby, and he digging in the baby diaper trying to get the drugs out, and they got them all on camera, and I just talked over it. It was funny, but
I think I saw that too.
Yeah, I got that one. And the lady who was putting sugar on her yams, did you ever see that one? She was pouring a big old bag of sugar on her candy yams, and I was like, talked over that one. That one did a whole bunch of stuff too. Okay. Yeah, but I've been playing around on it.
Okay. So it's just kind of like let's see what happens. Yeah, let's try this and see what happens. Okay. So how do you stay authentic in a world where content is about chasing trends or algorithms or not really being, like we said, truthful or authentic?
Well, I got one goal in life, and that's just to be myself.
Okay. That's it.
I never want to be like nobody else since about 1980, and that's when I used to want to be Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson?
I had Jerry curl and everything.
Oh, I remember you having a Jerry curl.
I had the white glove with the sequins.
You was doing all that?
I wanted to be Mike so bad. Oh, I wanted to be Mike. Come on, he was lit.
He was lit.
Come on.
I like Michael Jackson.
I used to want that.
Everybody might not admit to that because they giving them these putting these different pedophile type of things on them, which I hope that wasn't the case. But
but dark skinned Mike, I wanted to be.
Okay, all right.
Let's just be specific.
All right, yeah, I like him. He was very talented.
Yeah, but I wanted to be myself. That was my thing. I always wanted to be myself. I grew into me. Because it's like when you growing up, it's like people try to take piece of you, and like everything that's wrong with you, they're gonna let you know. Right.
Everything that's wrong with them.
Yeah.
They're gonna put on you.
But a lot of times people they see your light and they want to dim it.
Yes.
And and then to that way it makes them feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So now I don't want to be dimming my light for nobody.
Right.
You know, so if you can't take it, put on some glasses, go and find a tree, but I'm not turning on my light for you.
Sit down somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not turning on my light for you. I'm not doing it.
I don't blame you. That's how I feel too.
It's the reason why I don't be a group person. Right? That's another thing about me, is you're mostly gonna see me by myself.
Yeah.
You know, I do have friends.
Yeah.
You know, but
and your friends has been forever friends, most of them.
Well,
a lot of them.
A lot of them been friends forever, and a couple of people fell off.
They do fall off.
You know, for all kinds of reasons.
Yes.
And shout out to y'all too.
Okay.
You know
yes. A big shout out, because they
all
all taught us a lesson. That's
and
right.
I try to be great too.
That's
you know,
right.
Everybody knows, people all see all the time. Oh, I seen so and so, and I know they wanted to ask me about you, but I know y'all ain't cool no more. I said, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
I want them to be great too.
Yeah, and we still cool. It's just we got to be cool from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you ain't made for everybody. Everybody not made for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your upcoming special, Me,
yes.
is highly anticipated. And what does the title represent for you personally?
So it was a very I needed a selfish moment that was all about me. And everything. I really wanted to just bask in my own glory, and I hope I inspire people to do the same.
Okay.
You know, because we are all great. And in this world right now that we living in right now, everybody wants to be a part of something, when really all you have to do is just be yourself to the fullest. You don't have to be a part of a group. You don't have to, you know, hold on to people and have them lifting you up. You can lift yourself up. You know, so I want to literally do that in front of people's face.
Okay. And so that's what Me is about?
And that's what it's all about.
Okay.
It's very selfish, but at the same time it's giving, because I want to set an example for how I hope everybody should, and how you should feel about themselves.
Okay. So is this an onstage comedy show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did it on stage. I had a group of people. It was a standing room only.
Okay.
And I set up a nice set of some of my greatest hits of jokes.
Okay.
I sang a song at the end.
Oh wow.
It was just fun, and I was really just trying to, again, I like making people laugh. So these were the people in the room, they came for it. You know, so I had to deliver it.
You delivered.
Yeah, and I wanted to make people, I want people to feel good when they're around me, just like in regular life.
Yes.
You know, whether it's cutting hair,
yeah,
or we just sitting somewhere having a drink, or like we just talking right now. You know, when people experience me as a person, I want them to feel good about it.
Yes.
When I leave the room, you know, I want them to feel good.
Right,
you know,
right.
I want to bring nobody down.
You got that vibe, that energy.
I'm rolling like that.
You've always been like that, though.
Thank you.
Definitely. And what could so what would you say the audience should feel when after they see this show? Is that the way they should?
So like you said in the beginning, I get goofy.
Yes.
You know,
I said you is goofy.
Right. But that's a side of me that I have to release.
Yes.
You know,
and it's a good side. It could be words. You could be an a-hole.
You'd be surprised. Some people, it's a lot of things about me that people do not know.
Right.
You know, but and even with this right here, this people. When I worked in the mortgage finance business, a lot of people that didn't know I was that funny. I would walk around just work. And you roam around those offices like a ghost, and you kind of just, you know, how you doing? You know,
real low key.
Yeah, so now when I run into them people, or they come out, or
they be like, dang.
That's how they be.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's how they be. Yeah, so I just want, you know, it's just very important for me to share good energy with people, and you know, in this world, it needs more people like that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you on that. So you said your goal is to use humor to bring people together.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So in today's divided world, what role do you believe comedians play in healing, connecting, and reminding people to enjoy being alive?
So that's my thing. So when I do stand up, a lot of times I'll take a moment to tell people to make some noise if you're just happy to be alive. Right? Okay. And I've been in rooms where 2 people clap.
Really?
Yeah.
Now how does that?
You know,
it seems like it would be like a gut punch.
But, well, you know what? Now I learn how to stay away from the rooms.
Okay,
you know?
that's
because it's a huge weight.
Okay.
You know? So and people, it's people now who live in that state of depression and woe is me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody's coming to get me. And everybody don't like me.
Right.
And you know, so when I'm in them rooms, I know I'm in the wrong room.
Oh right.
Because I have to be in rooms of people who are ready to receive happiness.
Yes. Yes.
Because you have to receive happiness. You have to be willing to take it.
You do.
Nobody can give you happiness.
You know they cannot. And
you
love
down,
too.
you down, and same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be ready.
No matter how much you try, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they just not going to be willing to accept that. I had to learn that about very close people in my family even. So I was like, what is wrong? Why we are? And then I realized that it wasn't really me. It was just that they just didn't. They had been hurt by something and they just could not, accept it. And I think it's a defensive mechanism too.
Well, that's, with that being said, that's very true. Because I believe that most people was raised either on love or raised on struggle.
Or a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. But the struggle and the love people always going to have an issue.
That's true. That's true.
The struggle people is like always waiting for you to mess up so you can think of it.
So they can say, see, that's why you can't.
Yeah, or they want you to get the repercussions.
Right. Oh, they want to sit there and watch it. Yeah.
They want to see you
right.
suffer.
Crazy.
They look at us
Are
suffering.
you talking about a woman, Dave?
Yeah,
of course you are.
Of course I'm talking about women. Of course.
Women don't just want to see you suffer.
Oh, yes, shout to.
That is not true, ladies. Do you hear this?
Please, I don't know where y'all can comment on this, but ladies, please. If you like making men suffer,
I don't think it's that.
know.
So what do you mean by that? What does that mean?
Well, okay, because it's like the good side of women is always there. The beautiful flower that you see when you meet them, right? But then, somewhere along the line, if you do something wrong that make y'all mad, then it's repercussions.
Give me an example of what you. Give me an example of what you mean when you say if we do something wrong that makes them mad.
You know what? Sometimes I won't say
not cutting the grass or cheating. Which one? Okay, forgetting to put the garage door down, or put the toilet seat down, or putting your thing where it don't belong.
Well, okay.
How about that? Now, so which one? That's what I want to know.
Cheating is a harsh word.
What?
Because
cheating is harsh?
And we need to find a new word for cheating.
What would that word be? What would that be?
Because cheating is something you do on a test. You skip a line, that's cheating. You know what I'm saying? But if you kind of see someone who needs attention and you decide to give them some attention, that's not necessarily cheating all the time. In this world, it's a lot of people out here. Everybody don't get love and attention, right? Sometimes you have to share. And I would say...
That's what you call it? Sharing? It's not cheating, it's called sharing?
It's called sharing. So if you look at it in a sharing kind of... It's not so bad.
All right, I can accept that but this is the thing. Are you letting your lady know that you're sharing out here?
Of course not. I'm not doing it now. But I'm saying, this was a thing I used to practice in the past. Okay. So of course not. No, absolutely not. Who's got time for that?
Okay, so no, because we're not going to tell, but...
Who's got time for that? That takes so much time explaining. You know how long you have to sit down and explain to a woman that you...
That you cheated?
Or you cheated
that you shared?
Her? Oh, that's too long.
But why you don't just do it from the beginning? Why don't you just say from the beginning that you don't want to be in a committed relationship because you like to share? Why not say that? Instead of letting her believe that you really want to be with her and it's just... committed relationship. I think we as women, let me say this.
Okay.
I think most women can accept, because if you put your cards on the table and say, this is what we gonna, this is what I'm bringing. Let me say yes or no, because maybe I'm okay with that. Maybe I don't necessarily want you all to myself. Maybe I want to have that space and that time, right? But so why would we not? And maybe I'm afraid to tell you that because I don't know if maybe that means I'm gonna lose you. So in order to not lose you, I will agree to your your demands.
Okay.
But why not just say, hey, listen, I'm not really, I like you and I want to, I want to be with you. I can, whatever, but this ain't really where I want to be right now 100%. And I want to still have, the door open. I'm not ready to commit. Why can't you say that?
Some women can take that, but they're usually ugly.
Dang.
It's the truth. I'm just saying, I'm going to be honest. It's the women that you really want who are beautiful, that all the guys want, is not trying to hear that. You're not going to sit them down.
I don't think that's always true,
You're not going to sit them down and be like, look, I'm seeing somebody else. No.
I don't know if that's always the truth, though, Dave. So that means you just want to be manipulative, then.
Well, that's a part of life. We are manipulative.
Okay.
Aren't we?
All right, but then so don't say that the women want to see you suffer.
But admit this. Say, have you ever manipulated anyone?
Of course.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Why men we don't own? See, this is my so this is what I'm saying. And again, all this stuff is all way past.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Sure.
I'm out the game.
Yeah.
I ain't been in the game. I'm not interested in the game.
So,
but
who is that for?
No, I'm just saying that's
Okay.
for me.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just not.
Okay,
But
good.
I'd still like to talk about my past because this is another thing because we don't get to
Healing.
talk about it. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't get to talk about it. I like talking about it.
Okay.
You know, who I was and who I am now is two different people.
Okay.
And I learned a lot about people doing that. You know, from dealing with different people, I learned a lot. But you cannot sit down. No woman, I would not suggest any guy sit down telling a woman that you mess around with other women, you're going to make your life miserable. And she's going to make your life miserable. Because at first she might even say yeah, but then women like, y'all better planners than us and y'all smarter. So then that's where the repercussions
We're
come.
better sharers than you too.
Not really.
Yes, we are.
Not really.
Yeah, we ain't gonna get caught up.
Y'all kind of do.
No.
Y'all telling yourself in different ways.
Well, okay, I'll
Men,
give you
men
that,
will
but
physically get caught. Y'all mentally get caught. Because y'all check out.
Yes, we do check out.
See what I'm saying?
But we've been checked out.
But,
But
guys,
what I'm saying
we know
is,
when y'all check out.
no, but what I'm saying is, why not do that from the beginning, before it even gets to physical relationships or whatever, before you decide, okay, we together or whatever. Why not just say, I'm not ready for that? Because you don't want to lose. Because you don't want to lose out on the woman, so you lie to her. I think that's crazy.
I don't think it's that serious. I just think that it's
And
just
then you say that
it's
that-
not fun. Being honest, especially when you're younger, it ain't fun.
What about right now?
You don't have
What
to.
about today, Dave?
Nah, I'll be honest. I don't have time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about quality right now.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I used to be quantity. Now
Okay,
I've
now
moved
it's
over to
quality.
quality.
Okay. So yeah, you just wasn't ready.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
But a lot of them wasn't ready either because
Right.
once you see them later on in life and who they turned out to be and who
You
they
see
were,
that they.
you see that we was kind of in the same
Same
places.
boat, yeah.
We was just going about it a different way.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
like I'm gonna give you an example. I can't stand that work husband stuff.
I don't have no work husband.
See what I'm saying? Now again, I'm from the era where that work husband stuff is a danger zone. Like that's not a good idea to you know what I'm saying? But they're like, oh my work husband, like I don't know how y'all that's a form of cheating.
No, it's just sharing. Cheating is a strong word.
No, you see what I'm saying? How we
That's
get
just sharing.
we get
That's
this
just
gray
sharing.
area. See, cheating and sharing. See, we agree.
Okay.
So now we come to a place where we agree.
Okay. So how would you feel about your woman sharing then?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't suggest that they try it.
See how what a different body language you have when you're talking about her compared to you.
No. I don't play like that.
You don't play like
No,
that.
no. But there was a time that I did.
Okay.
And I did. I'm sure somebody was playing with whoever I was with at the time. I'm sure that somebody was playing with them at their job. You know, that's just how this culture is. People be doing more sharing than we like to think. You know, when you get older, you kind of tighten up a little bit. When you younger, it's a whole lot of sharing.
Yeah, it's too much
going
stuff
on.
going on around here.
No,
I don't want to share
no.
in none of nobody's. What Little Wayne got a bunch of gonorrhea?
No.
Yeah,
Definitely don't want to do that.
No, that's terrible.
No. This is a different world.
It is a different.
And I'm glad that I'm at this point in my life in this world now.
Okay. Me too.
This I'm very comfortable
Yes.
in this world now.
Yeah.
Because of who I am now. Now, if I would owe me in this world, that would
Right
be
now.
disaster.
Yeah, you'll probably be
It'd
toe
be
up.
disaster. It'd be disaster for everybody involved.
Yeah. You probably might not have made it through.
No, I probably would have made it.
Why would it have been a disaster? What's different?
You know what? I'm not into hurting people. You know, and not that I was used to be into hurting people, but I guess I really didn't like consider a lot of people's feelings.
Okay.
And how they
That's
felt
fair.
about my actions, you know.
Okay.
Now I'm very, very much into, you know, how is this going to make this person feel if I do this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
If I get caught doing this.
Well, getting caught. I don't
Sharing.
know. Well, getting caught don't keep me on the up and up. Now I
Okay.
made a decision to be.
That's what you want to do.
Right, I'm making
Okay.
a conscious decision.
Yeah.
I like who I am now.
Okay.
I like it.
I can respect that.
I like
can
it.
respect that.
And with that being said, there's going to be a lot of people out here who are going to go without because I'm like this. And they're going to be a little lonely and they're going to be a little sad because they don't have access. And
Okay.
like, you know, come on now. We live in a world where it's like people need love.
Okay.
You know, and I'm not gonna put myself down
Okay.
for loving people. I ain't gonna do that.
You was a man.
I'm just not gonna.
Okay, thanks.
I'm just not gonna do it. Nope, no sir.
Oh Lord have mercy. I don't even. What just happened?
I ain't know where we was going when I came here, but
we
we
here now.
going somewhere, and
Wow.
now we here.
All right. Well,
now we here.
You know, I'm not a cheater. I'm not a cheater. I'm not a sharer. So if I'm gonna be with somebody, that's what I'm gonna be with.
Well,
I'm not doing all that. And if it comes to the point where I'm not happy or that's not what I want to do, I'm gonna sit down and have a conversation. And I know you said that's corny, but that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, let me ask you this: when you had a conversation, you gonna have with your phone in the hand with 911 radio? You gonna be?
No, I will
some people are a little, these days.
No, I have my pistol, but I don't really deal with people with mental illness like that. That's my control. You know what I'm saying?
You can bring out mental illness.
No. People have to understand, and I think that once it gets to that point, I think that we both have already realized that the relationship is not going to continue to thrive. It wouldn't be where I just came in the house one day and said, you know what, this ain't working for me.
So my thing is, and I tell women all the time. This one friend I had, she was, oh, I'm tired of him. I want to break up with him. You know, I think I could do better. Da 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 da. And I say, wait a minute now. This guy used to bring you his money, right? He love you to death, and you know what I'm saying. But he might not physically, you know, or financially be in the package that you think that you deserve. You know, and you know, she left the guy, and I just never seen her have nobody who cared about her as much as he did.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now that we're a little older, you know, I see her. I can see where she like, you know, like.
Maybe I should have.
You see what I'm saying? Right. You know, so a lot of times we have to, you know, give people chances, not just on physical or financial, because you know, if all that go away and you end up in a hospital bed somewhere.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
You know what I'm saying? When
that's
nobody visit you.
That's it.
You know,
that's why I can't play. I can't fake the funk. I can't pretend like, and I can't be one of those women that's gonna just like settle because it's probably a good idea, or because I'm older, or because you know whatever reason, right? I'm not gonna do that because I would never give 100% of myself to that man, and I wouldn't want for him to have to suffer through that when he could get somebody that really wanted to be with him. I would be okay with just being by myself because I enjoy the time I spend with myself and I'm able to take care of myself.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that a man doesn't have a role, but I wouldn't want to be with a man that I didn't love and just was like every time I look at him, I say, look at that. That's my man right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be madly in love with my man. I don't want him to just be a resource. Okay. Because that'll never work out. I don't have like a poker face. He'll know I'm not happy. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And I would probably make his life miserable too, just because.
Well, but you know what? That's a part of the relationship is knowing when people their moods and when they're not happy, and when you step on the gas and when you step on the brakes. Yeah. And, you know, it takes time and patience to do that. Mm-hmm. You know, but me personally, where I'm at right now is the person I'm with. I like to pour into them. Yeah. And I always wanted to have somebody I could feel comfortable pouring into. Right. You know, so part of me being the way I was before was me not feeling comfortable pouring into people. I thought I was wasting.
Okay. And when you're saying pouring into, you talking about like emotionally, mentally, not just physically, not physical, just physically.
Yeah, just being there.
Or buying flowers or jewelry, but to have those conversations, those hard conversations.
Right.
Yeah.
Even when they're not happy.
Yeah.
Even when they're having a bad day. Yeah. Even when I'm having a bad day.
Right.
You know, and I'm always so quick to jump to say, okay, well, you know, I gotta do something because I'm mad or I'm frustrated. It's like sometimes you just need to sit down.
Yeah. Yeah, and get your mind right.
Be with that person, and y'all might not be talking, or y'all might not be at that moment. And then next day, y'all, you know, it's a whole different situation. But being able to ride through that, I think, is what makes people grow.
Instead of jumping ship.
Yeah, instead of jumping ship.
Okay. So let me find out when is Me coming out now?
So I'm gonna be shooting for March.
Okay.
And it's gonna be at some point. It's gonna be on all streaming platforms. You know, Amazon, Tubi. Okay. Spotify, you know, Apple Music, you know, so the audio is going to be on the streaming platform and the video is going to be on streaming platforms too. Okay. And then people can follow me on my social medias. I'm David Reese on Facebook, and I'm David Reese Show everywhere else on Instagram and TikTok. And when people follow me, they can go and keep up with me, and I'll make sure that I'm trying to make let as many people know as possible when it comes out. That'll probably be the best way to keep track of me. Not only for that, but also for my barbershop and my business too.
Now tell us, where's your barbershop now? What's the name of it?
It's the 1048 Barber Lounge.
Okay. You know? And that's at 1048. Is that South Clinton?
1048.
You
South
still there?
Clinton.
Okay. And you taking new clients?
I take new clients all the time.
Okay. All right. And any kind of hair texture? I know you do it
all.
Any
kind of hair texture. So how I did with that was I started cutting hair when I was young.
Okay.
I had my first barbershop when I was young, and I decided once I got good at cutting black people, Spanish people hair, because that's my environment at the time.
Right.
I decided to challenge myself to learn how to cut other people's hair.
Okay.
So I did that pretty much. I started with mannequins, and I was trying to get every person that came to me that wasn't black got the Brad Pitt.
Okay.
You know, I was like change their hair. You know, that was one style I knew. And so I got good at that. I moved on to the next one.
Right.
But when I started doing it, it was the guys, I was cutting mannequins' heads in between haircuts. Okay. So the guys who was working the shop with me used to clown me and say that, oh, you playing with dolls. Until they started seeing people coming in to get the haircuts.
The dolls was coming to life.
Right.
Yeah,
there we go. So that's how, and that's how I learned. And I do cut everybody's hair, and I'm great at cutting any human being's hair, any texture.
Okay. All right, cool. So it's the Barber Lounge.
The Barber Lounge, 1048.
1048 South Clinton Avenue.
Yes, 1048.
All right, and me's coming out on different streaming
That'll
platforms.
be out in March.
All right, and follow you on social media at David, and that's Reese, Reese.
That's Reese, like Reese's Pieces or peanut butter cups.
All right. Okay, well, Dave, thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you.
I wish you the best.
Thank
God
you
bless you with
me.
everything. I'm gonna be looking for you.
I feel blessed being here.
Thank you. And when you make it to the top, don't forget the little people.
Ain't no little people. We all big.
And if you happen to run into Sherry Shepherd, could you give her my number?
Sherry Shepherd, you like Sherry Shepherd?
I like her. That's who I'm aiming to. That's what
Really?
Yeah, I love her. I like her show. I like her style. I like the way she do things, and that's what I want to do.
See how we inspire each other.
Yes.
See, I love that. I love what you said, and I'm gonna remember that.
Yeah.
now.
So if you run into her, you make sure you let her know that Brik Chik is looking for her. Give me a shout out.
I will do that.
Okay. I thank you. All right.
Thank you.
And as always, you guys keep it Brik. Okay.
You know already what the hottest podcast is in the world, the Brik Talks podcast. And so we're on Anything Entertainment Network. Make sure you download that and share it with all your friends, and come out and check out some of the conversations that we're having. We got some really riveting conversations. We're talking about community. We're talking about culture. We're talking about loving and helping one another to just build a great community and to build great surroundings in our community. Make sure you look for us on YouTube. We're on social media. Keep building, y'all. Keep it Brik.